welcome to another video brought to you by Autowave. So in this video we're going to show you how to do start to finish a spare key on a Porsche Panamera 2013. So this lovely vehicle has actually come to us with two keys that both function, but what the customer requires is a third key for a third user. So if I just go ahead, unlock the car and give you a very brief demo. So we've got key number one, ignition turns on, I can actually start the vehicle, and the remote central locking works on the vehicle. I've got key number two, goes in, starts the vehicle, the remote central locking works as well. And now I've got my new key, which is an AUT RK0109, brought from Autowave. Goes in, does not start the vehicle. So, no central locking. So what we're going to do is we're going to program it. And in order to do this, we need to remove from the vehicle the BCM, the body control module. There's two body control modules in this vehicle, one's in the rear, one's in the front. So it's very important that we remove the one from the front, which is located here, which we'll show you how to do. We will also cut the emergency blade, which is a HU66, which is blank currently, and it's cut HU66, which is the same type of blade as you find in a VAG group vehicle. So that's what we're going to go and do. And first of all, we'll remove the BCM.
So we're outside now at the vehicle. We're going to take the BCM out, which is located just behind this right hand panel. So the first thing we need to do is remove this piece of trim. So let's just take off our bonnet release and let's prise up our trim. It should just be held in with clips. So if we just gently use a trim tool, we should be able to just pop this off. There you go. So it's come off as one piece. So that's easy enough. So we've removed our side panel now. We've just removing the under panel that goes above the pedals, just the trim panel. We removed that with 4 torque screws. They're just plastic screws, so you just remove them and remove that panel. And then just up above the pedals is where our BCM is located. To get to it, we're going to have to remove the plastic heater vent that just distributes the air to the footwell. So we'll just undo 1 torque screw, and we'll just remove our heater pipe work that's just held up under there as well. So them 3 things, not difficult to get out. And now our BCM is located up under on the side there. So as you can see, we've now dropped the unit down from out of its plastic carrier. We've got our connections here that we can just unplug, and then we can just remove our BCM out of the vehicle and go and take it to the bench. So we'll just whip these connections off. Very straightforward to get off. Plenty of wiring in the loom so you can drop it down to make it easy for yourself. And then one last one here for the antennae. And that's the unit out of the car. Let's take it to the bench and do the rest.
For cutting of the key, what we're going to use is we're going to use a CGDI Godzilla key cutting device. It's a very good key cutting device, and I'm going to get my original key and we're going to learn it. So first of all, we're going to hit vehicle database. Then I'm going to scroll down to Porsche. I hit Porsche, then I've got all the different marks of vehicle. So I'm going to select Panamera, and as you can see, you've got HU66 and HU66 EXT. Now what the EXT means is that there's a slight extended cut, as it shows on the image. Now if I look at mine, the shoulder comes up to here and it doesn't show an extended cut. So I'm confident that I select the top one. Now just as a little pointer, is worst case scenario I can always recut it with the extended cut. So if you're unsure that it's got an extended cut, it's hard to visualize, just cut it without and then you can recut at a later stage. So it's telling me now to use T2 fixture and fixture B, and how you align it is you align the shoulder to the edge of the jaw as per the image. So I've got my T2 it's on A, so I'm just going to go there to B, and then I'm going to put my original key in, and I'm going to load it up, apply a little bit of pressure to ensure that it's at the end and it's sitting flat. So yeah, we're good with that. Ensure I've got a clean surface to work with, so I'm going to brush away all filings, and then on the screen I'm going to hit learning. So we've got T2 fixture, side B, loaded up in the jaw as per the image, and I'm going to hit learning. So now this is going to learn the key. So the key has been learned. It says on the top of the screen, successful key learning. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to take out the original key from the jaw, and I'm going to now put it up against the image. Now, as you can see from the image, it looks like a good key learn. So we're going to go ahead now and put the new key in and cut it. So I've got my AUT RK0109. There's a blank key. I'm going to load it into the jaw just as I had when I was learning the key, when I was learning the original, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press cutting. It comes up with some default parameters. We're going to keep them as the default settings and hit continue. So the first side is cut. It says on the screen, key cutting is complete. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to take my key off, wipe away my filings, and have a little look and see if the cut looks good. The cut looks really good to me. As always with the CGDI, we often get a perfect cut first time. So I'm going to cut the second side, ensure that all the filings are out of the way and cleaned away. Load it back into the jaw, and I'm going to hit cutting once again, and then we're going to cut the second side. Okay, so now I've got the BCM module in my hand. I have my ACDP and my keys and everything lined up. So one very important thing on a Porsche BCM module is if it says 433, that means it's a non-keyless version. If it says 434, that means it's a keyless version. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the 4 torque screws on the back of the BCM. Right then, I'll lift the lid, and now I've got my BCM module here. So with the BCM module in place, I have my ACDP device. I've already got my ribbon connector and my OBP connector, and we're going to use module 10. This is module 10 for Porsche. So on my PC software, on the main screen, I'm going to scroll down to Porsche, and then I'm going to go to add key and all key lost. Now just so you know, if you're in an all key loss scenario, the programming is the same. So I'm going to go OK, click onto the IMO, and now I've got a solid Wi-Fi connection. I've got my Bluetooth dongle connected. Now what it says to me is it's asking me which mask ID. So the mask ID is actually on this little component, and this one is a 2M25J. So as you can see, 2M25J. I'm going to match that up to 2M25J. Now it's always good to just click the help screen, because what this will do is it will tell you where to look, and as you can see, that's what we've done. So now I'm going to hit OK. So we've got auto mode, delete key, add key, recovery factory password of the key, and various other functions. All I need to do is I need to add a key. So that's all I want to do. Now we can either do it by single step mode and do it step by step, or we can do auto mode. There's no reason for me not to do auto mode. And again, I'm going to hit help because what this will do is it will guide me through and tell me exactly what I will require. So as you can see, we're going to need the ACDP device, we're going to need the OBP ICP connector, we're going to need the Porsche BCM part, which is what I have here. We're also going to need the ribbon cable, which I have here. We're going to need a few of the screw adapters, which I have there. We're going to need a key, and we're going to need the BAV key adapter. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my BAV key adapter. So we've got all the components that are required. I'm just going to go to the next screen, and it shows me the point at which we need to connect. So I've got the layout, looks exactly the same, and that's where we need to connect. It also shows us where to insert the connectors. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to orient it in the same fashion, and I'm going to put my connectors in place. So we've installed that one, and now I'm going to go to the next, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim for these spots. So as you can see, we have D1, D4, D2. I've left these in this jumper in the same position, and that will be relevant in a second. So that's where we need to aim for our pins. And if I just go to next, what it says, ceramic crystal and metal crystal. So now this is a very important point. We have got a metal crystal. Ours is metal, not ceramic. So if it's a metal package, then what you need to do is EXT2. So you've got EXT1 for ceramic, EXT2 for metal. We've got metal. So on here, see the jumpers, I'm going to connect to EXT2. Very important. And then I'm going to affix it to the actual board. So now I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Back to another image just to make sure that we've got it in the right point, and to me it's looking okay, but ACDP will check anyway. So I'm just going to go back to where I was. This shows everything connected, shows me where I should be putting the short jumper, and now what it does is it shows us how to connect the ACDP onto here. So that's down there, following the instructions. That's for later on. So now I'm going to go back. So I've looked at the help section. I kind of know where I need to connect, which is what I've just done. So now I'm going to hit auto mode. So please connect the ACDP device and do obviously everything as per the diagram. Okay, so now it's going to check the pins, the all important checking of the pins. And there we go, good connections. So it may have looked like I took a long time to do it, but obviously I just wanted to make sure I get it right. So now I'm going to hit continue. So it's detected that the BCM is encrypted. Do you want to continue? Yes, I do. So it's decrypted the chip. It's showing I've selected 2M25J. It's read 2M25J. Continue. Now it's reading the P-flash data. Right then, so it says, please save the pflash data file. I'm going to hit OK. When ACDP says uploading data, that means it's saving the file. So that's what it's doing now. It's just saving the file, and then in a moment it will give us a file name. What I find is quite useful to do is at every stage is to take a little screenshot from your phone of where the file is. So in this instance, I'll be using my Sony Xperia to just take a little photo of file location, so I can always refer to that. Okay, so now it's reading the EEPROM or DFlash data. I normally refer to the Porsche BCM as the DFlash data. Now a good little tip, the pflash data is the same on all of this model of BCM, whereas the DFlash or EEPROM data is specific to the vehicle. So if you were to ever damage a BCM, you just need to find the same model, because it will have the same pflash data, and then you just need to dump your EEPROM data. In this instance, obviously that won't be the case. Hit OK, so now it's just saved again, and I'm just going to take another cheeky little photo of my Sony Xperia. So now it's just going to save the DFlash data. OK, right, so it shows us the VIN number, it shows us the key password, and it shows us what keys are present. So as the customer had rightly told us that he's got keys 1 and 2, and there is only 2 keys out, obviously we just want to put a 3rd key into the vehicle. This is a very good customer, in fact he's quite an inspiration, so we're going to make sure we do a good job on his car. So key 3 is where we're going to go for. Let's hit continue. So as it says to us, please keep the ACDP on and basically connect the BAV key adapter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now keep everything connected, disconnect, connect the BAV key adapter, and it says put the key correctly in the BAV key adapter. Now I'm going to put the new key, so I'm going to put it like that. Let's hit OK. Reading key information. Current key, so it's telling us the transponder ID, and it's asking us where we want it. So there's mixed opinions on this, whether it should be key 3, key 4, key 8. I'm going to put it in key 3 because that's where I would like to put it. So I'm going to hit continue. It's programming the key. So basically this is now updated the DFlash data with the new key data inside. So I'm going to hit OK. So it's saving the DFlash data. Now this is quite important because we've had our original DFlash file, and now this, which I'll take a cheeky photo of, says on the photo A key DFlash, which basically is add key DFlash, because we're now going to put this information onto the BCM. Now, if you so wanted to, you could, because this is now a dealer key which is locked to the vehicle, you could diagnostically learn this key in if you wanted to, but we're just going to write it directly on. So I'm going to hit OK. So as it's told us now, let's reconnect the BCM. So I'm going to now disconnect. I'm going to take my original keys, my new key, take my BAV key adapter off, connect it back on. So now we're connected. I didn't disturb this, and I'm going to hit OK. So now it's checking the pins once again, because you might have disturbed the pins. We've got good contacts, and now it's showing us the information with the 3rd key. So we're going to hit continue. And now what this is going to do, this is going to write this back to the BCM. So it's decrypting the chip again, writing the data back on with the new key file in. It's verifying the chip data just as you would on any programmer. You write and then you verify. Right, adding key complete. Basically, that is the programming part of the job done. So I'm going to hit OK. It saved a file. That's like a log file. And the job is now done. So let's go ahead and install it back on the vehicle. I'm just going to disconnect my OBP device, take the ribbon off. It's very important to keep all the components in good condition. So I'm just going to carefully unscrew. Sit my adapter away. Okay, so I've got the BCM back at the vehicle. Now I'm going to connect it onto the plugs. I've got my 3 keys here. Stick them on the seat and let's give it a go. So the BCM is now connected and it's the moment of truth. Let's give it a go. They're the 2 original keys. Central locking still working. Central locking still working, and then on my new key, central locking working. So let's start the vehicle with all the keys one by one. So here's key number 1. Put it inside. The steering is unlocked, and I will just start the vehicle fine. Central locking fine. Key number 2. A little bit worse for wear. Start the vehicle fine. Central locking working fine. Now this is the new key. Cut and coded. Starts the vehicle fine. Locking working. So we now have 3 fully working keys. I'm just going to stick that down there. We're going to install the BCM back in and complete the job up. Okay, so now as you can see, the BCM has been put back in, the trim panels are all back on. We've got the 3 keys in my hand. If I close the door, lock, unlock, lock, unlock, lock, unlock, and obviously, just so you know, the 3rd button as well all works. So we've done that job start to finish. It's taken 45 minutes using an AUT RK0109, ACDP with a Porsche module and a CGDI Godzilla. It's a start to finish job on a Porsche Panamera in 45 minutes to add a spare key to the vehicle with no soldering and no risk. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to our channel, and any questions please leave a comment.